Oh man, this is such a tough result to take. Arsenal played Liverpool at home in the Emirates Stadium, and despite me thinking that Arsenal actually had a pretty good chance to win the game, even before the game, Arsenal play out a 2-2 draw with Liverpool. And the thing is, you look at the whole game and you think that first half performance by Arsenal deserved 3 points in itself. The second half performance was a lot more careful and cautious with how we did it, but it also came down to us not having Yuri and Timber for a lot of the second half, us not having Gabriel for practically the whole second half, and we had to have such a makeshift defense of Thomas Partey at the right back, Ben White right centre back, Kivior at the left centre back, and then it was Miles who was Skelly for the last bit. And you're thinking, like, we still played well the whole game with Partey at right back. I didn't think he was outstanding, but we still played well in how we played. That first half was amazing. I mean, look at the whole game as a whole, and if we're being fair on the balance of play, I don't think a draw is a horrible result for either team, but I do think Arsenal was slightly the better team. That first half performance by Arsenal, we practically dominated Liverpool, didn't give them much of anything in the first half. Then the second half, we kind of sat back a little bit and allowed Liverpool to apply some pressure, which I'm not quite happy about, but I kind of understand why. We'll get onto that later in the video. But listen, for the first goal, I mean, Bukayo Saka does it again. Absolutely outstanding. Absolutely cooks Robertson, comes in on the left and just smacks it into the back of the net. A beautiful goal by Bukayo, the star boy, the captain, someone who we didn't even know if he'd be playing because of the injury scare, but we do know now Arteta just likes to play mind games. But that was a world-class goal from Bukayo Saka, and to that goal's credit, Ben White. What a ball from the centre-back position to find Bukayo Saka in behind the lines, and Saka did the rest. Absolutely class. And I was thinking we had a really good start to the game. That first 15-ish minutes was so strong. Liverpool got themselves a corner even while we were pretty much dominated against a run of play, and they got themselves a goal practically out of nothing. Now, Kai Havertz probably shouldn't have let Luis Diaz come in front of him to win the ball and win the flick on, which allowed Van Dijk to score. Also, you would think that if Saliba was playing more, Saliba would have been marking Van Dijk rather than Partey, and Partey is good, but he's just a little bit too small for Van Dijk. Despite us playing so well and us having that amazing wonder goal earlier from Saka, it's then 1-1 all of a sudden out of nowhere. Like, against the run of play, Liverpool find themselves a goal off a set piece, and it's back to square one. But here's the thing. Throughout that whole first half, even though it was 1-1, for a lot of the first half, it felt like we were winning already. We were playing so well. The atmosphere was electric. We were having Liverpool on ropes at times. That Konate incident happened where a lot of people are saying it's a penalty, a lot aren't. Look, I think Konate touched it. From what I've seen, all the replays, I think Konate did touch the ball and followed through and then got Martinelli. So if that is the case, if it is how I see it, I don't think it's a penalty. As much as I would love it to be a penalty, I don't think it is. But I can kind of get how people say it is. In my opinion, I just don't see it as a penalty. But outside of everything there, in that first half, we were outstanding. Then we get our free kick towards the end of the first half. Declan Rice with yet another beautiful delivery. He was doing that all game through either normal passing or just good set pieces. Declan Rice with a beautiful set piece, a beautiful cross into the area, and Mikael Merino heads the ball into the back of the net, sends us 2-1 up right on the stroke of halftime. And I'm going into halftime thinking this is perfect for Arsenal. Like, we have been the better team. We've been playing so well. Yes, Liverpool will likely step it up in the second half, but everything is looking on the up. Now we score as well. We're 2-1 up. I mean, what more could you ask for? I was so excited. It was a great first half performance. Like I said, gave Liverpool little to nothing to be happy about. We looked really good in possession throughout the first half. It was probably one of our best first half performances of the season. Really good first half performance. And then the second half starts and Gabby gets injured within the first 5 or so minutes. And that immediately shifted the whole dynamic of the game in the second half, because with Gabby, we were allowed to press really high. We had a really high line against Liverpool, which isn't that common against Liverpool or bigger teams. Arteta doesn't often play a really high aggressive line that's trying to pin Liverpool back. And we did that for the first half, and that was a huge reason why I think it was so effective in the first half. And in the second half, now with no Gabby and Kivior having to fill in that role, I don't think we pressed as high and as aggressive as we did in the first half, and our high line was not as high purely because Kivior, as much as I like him, is and can be a liability at times, especially when you compare him to the likes of Gabriel, nowhere near his level. So then we had to kind of drop our line a little bit, not press as hard, and that allowed Liverpool a huge, I think, 15-minute spell where the moment Gabby went off, it felt like we were down to 10 men almost, because Liverpool were just dominating the ball, having chance after chance. Even though they weren't getting tons of shots away, they were still having tons of good opportunities to take shots, and you could definitely tell the moment Gabby was off, that leadership, that steal the back line, line was starting to wane. And like I said, then Timber goes off, and you could tell Timber was kind of tiring. I don't think he was injured. I think he was just tired. Tracking most out of the whole game does that to you. So around the 72nd minute, Timber has to get taken off. And then you have a whole back line, a makeshift back line of a CDM playing as a right back, your right back playing as a centre back, the guy who can kind of play centre back, but is probably your left back in Kivior playing as a centre back. And then you have Miles Lewis-Skelly, who I like, didn't do anything wrong, even in the goal we conceded. I'll get to that now. A 17-year-old Mark and Mo Salah was not ideal. So we had this makeshift back line, so far from our first choice back line, and we were now stuck. We had to kind of hold out, but still try to be a little bit dangerous. But the thing is, I think we kind of let go of the danger a little bit too much, and we weren't really possessed all that much of a threat. I thought Konate was doing such a good job on Gabriel Martinelli. Konate had an outstanding game for Liverpool, to be fair. But in the goal we conceded, when you look to that goal, listen, I like Kivior, but I think it's Kivior's fault. Because of the interchange run between Darwin Núñez and Mo Salah, Kivior kind of gets lost. I think if you look at Miles Lewis-Skelly, he looks like he knows what he's doing before he then notices, well, Kivior's right in front of him, like, well, now he needs to do something. I thought Kivior kind of didn't do well enough, and Kivior just kind of made it all confusing, a miscommunication between Lewis-Skelly and Kivior, and that led to a little gap in our left-hand side of the defense. And Darwin Núñez, to his credit, great run, gets the ball, puts it into Salah, who made an amazing run as well. And it was 2-2, 10 minutes to go, and you're thinking, we're gonna have to do something. And we tried to do something. It was good to see Ethan Winieri get trusted to get brought on. Saka had an amazing first half, but in the second half really struggled to impact. And I mean, Jesus looked pretty good. We thought we scored when apparently the ref had called a free kick. Like, the first half was elite. The second half performance was just pretty average. And when you play an Arne Slot team at pretty average with a makeshift defense, it's likely to happen that you're going to concede and lose the half. Luckily, we did get ourselves a point at least, but I really think, looking at this game, now the game's over, we could have won it. The game was there for the taking. Just one silly little mistake, all these little injuries, it really started to pile up. Our best 11, I'm pretty convinced, wins that game 2-0. I know it sounds crazy, but I think our best 11 in that game with a healthy, fully fit squad wins the game 2-0. But unfortunately, we didn't have that, and it's not an excuse because it is football. At the end of the day, everyone gets injuries, but it's just a little bit upset, and that's why I'm kind of in a position where I'm happy to take a point, but I really think we could have got our 3 points.